Alright, we're back for another Dokkan Battle video, and in today's video we are going to be doing the team guide for the AGL Bardock's EZA event. Now most players probably shouldn't really be struggling with this, the weakness is Terrifying Conquerors, but for you guys who just maybe don't know who to bring or don't know what Terrifying Conquerors units are good or anything like that, don't worry, I gotcha. And before we get into the units and all that, you definitely should be doing this EZA event, maybe for you guys who are kind of on edge if you want to actually do this. Please do it. You get free 30 stones, which you should be saving for Anniversary, or worldwide. I guess that's a pretty good way to go about saving your stones as well. And then, you get some free Kais, you get some orbs, and you obviously get the medals to EZA, the AGL Bardock. His EZA is decent. I'm not going to sit here and say it's amazing or it's on the level of like Tech Ultimate Gohan. I'm personally not a huge fan of it because he does have a lot of restrictions, but overall, it's a good EZA. I mean, I can't really deny that. And he's on some really weak teams, specifically low-class warriors. He's helping out a lot. So if you like to run that team or you want to make that team better in your box, definitely do EZA him. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the units that you should actually bring. So first off, we're going to talk about some good leads. We got Piccolo Jr. right here. He does lead Terrifying Conquerors for 170%, and then he gives an extra 30% to stats to Battle of Fate or World Tournament category allies. Not a whole lot of units in here are going to be on World Tournament, maybe outside of a few Piccolo Juniors, but you're probably not going to bring them in this EZA event. So most of them who are getting the 200% leader skill are going to get it from Battle of Fate. I don't know how many units on here are on Battle of Fate, so majority of them are probably just going to be getting a 170% lead, but it's not that big of a deal. I mean, you could still make that work, right? These EZA events aren't that difficult. Good super attack effect, 30% to stats, high chance to stun. You're not really going to be getting this most of the time just because I think they cancel stunning. What is it? From the 5th fight. So after the 5th fight, you're not going to be able to stun, so that's not really going to be doing that much for you, but the 30% to stats and all the additionals this guy has built in is going to be really useful. You guys know how good Piccolo Jr. is. I'm not going to sit here and explain it. Great offensive unit, really good defensively as well. No guard damage reduction or, dodge or anything like that, but his stats are so high. That's including his attack. So with all the additionals, with all the supers and everything, it's going to be a good unit to bring, right? Not only as a lead, but maybe if you just want to throw him on the team, he's going to be doing a ton of damage, and of course defensively, he's going to be more than capable in this event. So Piccolo Jr., a great unit to bring. And then next up, we got the Dokkan Fest Captain Ginyu. So with this guy, you do want to be a little careful just because he does have a lot of restrictions to Ginyu Force units. So if you're going to run this guy as a lead or throw him on the team, you're going to want to bring a lot of other Ginyu Force units on the team as well. Not that that's going to be difficult because every Ginyu Force unit is on Terrifying Conquerors, but if you didn't grind up the free-to-play Ginyu Force, if you don't have some of the Ginyu Force banner units, like the Birder and then the Jace, or the, Rakumen Guldo. Yeah, right here. Or this Rakumen Guldo. If you don't have them or some of the free-to-play units, it's going to be difficult to run this guy on the team because then he's going to be missing out on a lot of his restrictions, but nonetheless, still going to be a good unit to bring on the team. And of course, he does lead Terrifying Conquerors, and then the extra 30% goes to Space Traveling Warriors. So most of the units on here are also on Space Traveling Warriors. So that's going to be really easy to give the full 200% leader skill to basically everyone on the team. So Ginyu is a good lead, but again, you're going to want to surround him with a lot of Ginyu Force units. But if that's not an issue for you, then yeah, he's going to be an amazing unit to bring for this EZA event. And then next up, we got the LR Demon King Piccolo. So this is a free-to-play unit, but it's a World Tournament free-to-play unit, so a lot of you probably don't have him, which is understandable. World Tournament LRs are kind of a pain to grind. Yeah, he's a great unit, though. Damage reduction, orb changing, decent amount of attack. His damage isn't insane, but it's going to be solid because he's got type advantage. And then if you get the transformation into Demon King Piccolo, he's just that much better. He's just really good. I don't know what the condition is to transform, though. From the 7th... Oh, no. Oh, never mind. Yeah, you're not getting this transformation. It's either from turn 7 or when there's a Dragon Ball Saga World Tournament or Dragon Ball Seekers category enemy. Neither of those categories the AGL Bardock is on. So no, you're not going to be getting the transformation off with him unless you manage to get to turn 7, which is highly unlikely. But still, he's got type advantage. He's an LR, and he's going to be a decent unit to bring in here, especially if you don't have some of these other leads that I'm talking about, and you do have this guy as an LR. You can run him as a sub-lead. I know 120% to stats is very low, but if you bring this guy as like a friend lead, it'll work because, it's an EZA event. You don't need to have double 170 leads for you to be able to just barely survive the event. EZA events aren't that difficult, so you could definitely manage just with this. And then next up, we got the LR Ginyu Force unit, so they are free to play. Everyone can have access to them. Everyone should have them right now. If you've been playing Dokkan for a little, you should have them in your box. But if not, now's a good opportunity to do that, so you have them ready for this event. Very similar to this Demon King Piccolo right here. They're a free-to-play LR that's on the category, and they have type advantage. Really no reason not to bring them, especially if you're going to be running this guy as a lead. Because then you have all the craziness of all the Ginyu Force units, so all the restrictions are lifted, they're all supporting each other, they all just work very well with each other in terms of links, and they're all on Terrifying Conquerors, so you could definitely cook up something good. That's all I'm going to say. This unit specifically is going to be really good in here, even if you don't have them with a bunch of other Ginyu Force units, because, you know, there's an LR who has type advantage, so they're still going to be good in here, but of course you're going to be missing out on some things, so preferably you'd want to run them with a lot of other Ginyu Force units, but depending on your box, you could definitely make some things work if you don't have a lot of Ginyu Force units. But still, a great unit that you're going to want to bring. And then next up, we got this free-to-play Cooler. So this guy is a support for Terrifying Conquerors. Pretty much the main reason I'm talking about him. He's not amazing offensively. Defensively, I mean, he's not bad, but he's not amazing either. It's an EZA event, though, so he's going to be fine. But mainly because of his support and because he's free-to-play. So everyone has access to this guy, and he's just going to make everyone look that much better. So definitely a good unit that you should bring on the team just because everyone has access to him again. And then next up, we got the LR Vegeta. So this guy probably won't be linking that well with some other units you're going to bring. I mean, if you want to run a full, like, Vegeta team, I guess you could make that work. But a lot of them probably are just going to have the name Vegeta. Although, no, this guy's a Giant Ape Vegeta. So he's probably going to link good with them. But a lot of the other Vegetas might not link that well together. Yeah, he's good. Yeah. He's got guard. Can do some solid damage. Got type advantage. He's an LR. Pretty much all I gotta say. If you have him, definitely run him. You know, he's on the category and he can do good damage. That's about all I gotta say. And then next up, we got the Bandy unit Vegeta and Nappa. Yeah, pretty much the same thing as this guy. They're on the category. They can do some solid damage. They're a little bit newer, so their damage probably will be a little bit higher. And also, you know, they've got damage reduction, they've got guard, which you are going to be getting activated because you're probably going to be running them next to a lot of Terrifying Conquerors or maybe Pure Sands category allies, which gives them guaranteed guard. So, yeah, a good unit to bring. Like I said, good damage, and they're on the category. It's really all I got to say about them. But that's pretty much the video. I mean, yes, there's other units we can talk about. Obviously, there's LR 5th Form Cooler, who does lead Terrifying Conquerors, but he's got type disadvantage, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult with him. But you could still make it work. It's an EZA event. It's not that difficult. There's the STR Cooler. Same thing with this guy. He's got type disadvantage, but you could make it work. He's also a support. Yeah, he supports Terrifying Conquerors when facing 2 or more enemies, which you're not going to get here. But still, I mean, he's got that going on for him, technically. And yeah, he's just a good unit, so he's going to be good for this event. Who else? Golden Frieza. Full Power Frieza. I mean, hell, LR Baby. Vegeta and Nappa could be pretty good. So there's a ton of other good options that you could bring in here, but that's really just dependent on who you have in your box and a lot of the units that I went over. I feel like most of them you guys are probably going to have. I don't know why this is blue. Oh, this was the LR graded Vegeta. But yeah, pretty much all the options I went over, a lot of you probably have access to. Some of the other ones, again, like I said, is kind of more dependent on your box. But anyway, that has been the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know which units you're going to bring on your team for this EZA event, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.